Okay, we're going to try this one again with a little more magnification so that we can show more clearly what we're doing. The replacement of spring hinges. Let's say that you've ordered yourself a set of temple arms like this, perhaps a little longer, a little shorter, maybe you've got cable ends on the end of the piece, and now you have the problem of putting a spring hinge equipped temple arm into the receiver right here. This seems to be quite a problem. We get them in from all over the place, even from optical centers, who don't seem to be able to get the spring hinge with the tang head retracted into the box the way it normally does when it's been removed from a hinge, and getting it back in there and lining up the holes. Now, why is this? I've made a simple paper maquette of this just to explain what's going on. Pretend that this is your spring box, and this is the tang head. This is the part that the screw passes through between the time that it goes through the top of the receiver and the, in fact, let's use the contrasting color side right here, between the top of the receiver and the screw passing through. Now you can see here the holes are aligned. In fact, we'll accentuate that with a little color. There's some color. And we can see that when we look through the receiver from the side that the screw enters, it passes through the tang head right here and out the other side. And this is why when you flex it, the tang head is pulled out and goes back, and that's what causes it to be a spring hinge. Now, the problem with that is when you take the screw out and you take the temple arm that you're replacing away from the eyeglasses, the tang head snaps down into the spring box, like that, very simply. Then when you try to put it back into the receiver, what you have is you have 3/4 of a hole that the screw can't pass through, just like that. It's that simple. Now, a lot of people say that you have to have specialty tools to take care of this, that there's pliers that you can buy that will hold both open and do what you're supposed to do in order to get them aligned and in, and we see all kinds of tool marks all over frames, unfortunately, where people have tried to do this with screwdrivers and pliers, etc. It's actually something that can be done with no tools, and people will say, no, it's impossible, you can't possibly do this without tools. Well, I'm going to show you right now how you can do this without tools, unless you want to count a small vise and a tweezers and a screwdriver as exceptional tools. What I've done is I've taken a screw and I've locked it into a vise right there, very simply. And I've made sure, as you should always make sure, that the screw that you're going to be passing through the receiver fits through the hole in the tang head being the part of the spring-loaded hinge assembly that, and this one does. You can see it. In fact, when you hold it sideways, it makes a T. Now, what you're going to do, very simply, is you're going to take the screw that's in the vise, you're going to put the tang head from the arm that you wish to install on the frame on there. Let's do that one more time. On there, like that. And then you're going to take a screw, and you're going to open the jaw of the tang head, and you're going to place the screw on the inside. Like that. That's all. That's all you're going to do. And now this, with its jaw extended, which you can see very, very clearly. You can see how, so again, let's get some contrast and color here. You can see very clearly how that's holding the jaw open. Then you're going to take it and you're going to place it into the receiver on the eyeglass in this way, and you'll notice that you can already tell that the tang head is out there farther and that it's going to go in like that. You can still see the screw there, like that. And then you're going to take the actual screw that's going to wind up being the hinge screw, and you're just going to place it into the hole. And because the circles are aligned with each other, it should go in fairly easily. Probably should never say that, right? Because then it wouldn't do it. But there it is. and then you follow that up with your screwdriver, and you can actually feel the screw going through the 3 consecutive holes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to simply open the arm wider than need be, and the screw drops out, and there's your spring hinge, working as it should. All done. And that's how, without specialty tools, you can put a spring-loaded hinge into a receiver. One more time. There's the receiver. There's the problem, which is the tang head, which is normally out like this when it's in place. You take the screw out of the hole, this pops down, and you wind up with an alignment problem, which is why, if you visualize that in your mind, you understand exactly what's happening and why you've been having problems getting them to align. And by putting the screw in place as we did, like that, and holding the gap out like that, you solve the problem. And that is how you put a spring hinge onto an eyeglass frame without exotic specialty tools. Thank you for watching.